Now, are there any beneficial effects to some of these inflammatory foods, or are there examples of that? And because from what I'm gathering is it's probably better for you to focus on getting that hormetic kind of stress, that bit from exercise versus like getting that from food.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. So you actually get benefits from exercise because you rebuild stronger. So that's one of the whole points of exercise is you're continuing to tell your cells in your body that you are young. I mean, that's the biggest part to it. So a lot of people say, yes, it's the aesthetics and all that. That's fine. But you should be weight training your entire life in order to be able to kill off the old cells faster, kill off the old mitochondria faster because they can't keep up. And then your body says, oh, well, if this is the demand on the body, I need to produce stronger mitochondria, stronger cells. And so that's really important. And then going back to the food then, well, there are inflammatory foods. So arachidonic acid is an inflammatory food. So meat, for the most part, and we'll talk about that, and dairy is typically inflammatory. But I learned this a long time ago. I actually used to write for Condé Nast, Self, I forget the other one. They were all kind of one conglomerate. And I was commissioned by them for 3 years to write a daily article as part of their 4-person team. And the head of that team, I was super young. I was like in my early 20s. I was just lucky to have the position, the job. She knew it all about inflammation-based ratings. She was a PhD, and she actually, for her not thesis, but basically her paper for a PhD, she went through the inflammation rating of foods. And so what I realized was, yes, there is a whole list of anti-inflammatory foods, but your body actually does function best if it does have some of those inflammatory-based foods, because there's actual healthy properties to them. And at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is balance inflammation. So it's not like the whole thing about moderation, I don't necessarily agree with. I agree with like balance for each individual. Some individuals can do much better with more meat in their diet because they're more athletic, they work out more, they are repairing their tissue more. You don't need that if you're prone to gaining 50, 60, 100 pounds, and you need something maybe a little bit more catabolic. So as we start to talk about like the arachidonic acid and the higher levels of that in meat and saturated fats in general, it's not that you should be devoid of that. It's just you need to balance that with the anti-inflammatory.
Have you seen the studies on arachidonic acid and muscle gain?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That was a supplement for a while where you could buy it, and I don't remember what it was called. It was something X. I remember I took it as a kid because
what did you not take? I had a guy with a lab coat.
I had a friend.
Yeah. So, they sold it because there were studies that showed that people who supplemented with arachidonic acid, and of course these were small studies, and healthy college-age males, built significantly more muscle and were stronger. Now, when you went on the forums, people would say, yeah, I'm getting more muscular and I'm stronger, but man, I'm really sore and it's really interesting. I supplemented with it because like as a kid, I took anything that I thought would help me build muscle, and it made my joints, this was as a 17, 18-year-old kid, made my joints feel stiff, and I just did not feel good, and I had to stop taking it. And of course, looking back, it's like my inflammation went through the roof with it, because I also eat a lot of red meat on top of it, and I know red meat is a natural source of arachidonic acid. So
yes,
really interesting, really strange.